The rain came early that evening. Thick, heavy, noisy. It drummed on the zinc roof of the police station like thousands of impatient fingers. Officer Tunde Lawson, 34, sat behind his desk staring at unfinished reports. He rubbed his tired eyes. It had been a long week: robbery cases, missing persons, domestic fights. Nothing unusual. He stretched his neck, stood, and poured himself lukewarm coffee. As he lifted the cup, his phone buzzed. Message from wife Ada. Come home. Now. She'll kill her. Tunde froze. He read it again. What does that mean? Who is she? Kill who? His heart began to beat faster. He dialed Ada immediately, but her phone rang once and switched off. His stomach tightened. Something was wrong. He grabbed his jacket and hurried out. Lawson, where you dey go? His colleague Say asked. Emergency. Something at home. You want backup? No. I'll handle it. He rushed into his car. Rain hit the windshield hard, wipers struggling to keep up. Tunde sped through the wet road, mind racing. Ada never sent strange messages. She wasn't dramatic. She rarely panicked. So for her to text that, it had to be serious. His thoughts returned to the message. She'll kill her. Kill who? Their 9-year-old daughter Myra? Impossible. Ada loved Myra more than anything. Unless. Tunde's breathing grew heavy. What if Ada wasn't talking about herself? What if someone else was inside the house? A stranger. An intruder. A woman. He pressed harder on the accelerator. 15 minutes later, he turned into his quiet estate. All houses dark except his lights blazing through curtains. He parked roughly and jumped out. Rain soaked his clothes instantly. He didn't care. He sprinted to the door. It was slightly open. Tunde's heart dropped. He pushed it wider and stepped inside slowly, hand on his gun. Ada, he called. No answer. Myra. Silence. Water dripped from his clothes onto the tiled floor. The living room was messy, pillows thrown, a glass broken, a chair sideways. Something violent happened here. Tunde moved carefully down the hallway. Every nerve in his body was alert. He reached Myra's room first. The door was open. Empty. Her bed was scattered, blankets on the floor, one of her shoes lying at the doorway. Fear crawled up his spine. He stepped into the master bedroom. Ada. Still nothing. The bedroom was empty too. He turned toward the kitchen. A faint sound. Metal. Then a soft voice, unfamiliar, trembling, whispering. He moved closer. The kitchen light flickered. The floor was wet, but not from rain. Water. Milk. Something spilled. Tunde raised his gun slightly. He stepped inside. And froze. At the dining table sat a woman he had never seen before, in a soaked red gown, hair scattered across her face. Her eyes were wide like she hadn't slept in days. Her breathing was loud. Desperate. In her shaking hand a bloody kitchen knife. Across the room, tied to a chair with rope and tape across her mouth, was Ada, Tunde's wife, crying silently, eyes pleading. And curled in Ada's lap, terrified, was little Myra, unharmed but trembling. The strange woman turned to Tunde slowly. Her voice cracked. You're finally here. Tunde's gun hand trembled. What is happening? He demanded. The woman smiled, a twisted, broken smile. You left me. You left us, Tunde. The room spun. Tunde's blood ran cold. He looked closely at her face and recognized her. Shade. His ex-fiancée. The woman he abandoned 11 years ago. The woman he thought vanished from his life forever. Shade stood up slowly, knife still in hand, eyes burning with both love and madness. You promised me forever, she whispered. But you replaced me. Now she must feel my pain. She pointed the knife at Ada. Myra screamed. Tunde's world shattered. Everything happened at once. He stepped forward, voice hard, steady, trained. Shade, listen to me. Put the knife down. Nobody has to get hurt. Shade laughed weakly, a sound that didn't sound human. You hurt me first. She pointed the blade at her own chest. You broke me. Then toward Myra. So I'll break you. Tunde raised his gun higher. Don't touch my daughter. Shade tilted her head and tears rolled down her cheeks. She looks like me when I was small. She smiled sadly. So innocent. Before life ruined me. Her hand shook, dangerously close to Myra. Ada struggled against the ropes, muffled cries desperate. Shade turned to Tunde again. Why didn't you come back for me? Her voice cracked, broken like glass. Tunde swallowed. Shade had been gentle once. Sweet. Loving. But after losing their unborn baby back then, everything changed. She became unstable, unpredictable. He tried to stay but eventually walked away. She disappeared soon after. He never imagined she'd return. Never imagined she'd find his family. Never imagined this. He lowered his voice to calm her. Shade, please, let's talk. Shade was shaking now, breath uneven. You promised me a life. I'm sorry, Tunde said quietly. Shade flinched like the words cut her. Sorry won't fix me. She stepped closer to Myra. One move and blood could spill. Tunde's heart raced. Shade, if you hurt them, your life is over, he said softly. Her eyes flickered confused between rage and longing. My life ended the day you left. Shade took a deep breath. Lightning flashed through the window, illuminating her face, drenched with rain and tears and something darker. For a second, she dropped her guard. Tunde seized it. He lunged forward. Shade screamed. Myra cried. Ada fell sideways with the chair. The knife flashed in Shade's hand. Tunde grabbed her wrist. They struggled. The knife dropped, clattered on the floor. Shade fell back, sobbing uncontrollably. Why? She cried. Why did you leave me? Tunde knelt, breathing hard. He handcuffed her swiftly while she didn't resist. She looked up at him through wet, broken eyes. I loved you more than I loved myself. He paused. And that was the problem, he said quietly. Shade collapsed fully, defeated. Tunde rushed to Ada and Myra. He tore the tape off Ada's mouth and cut the ropes with trembling hands. Ada burst into tears, hugging Myra tightly. Myra clung to them both. They held each other for a long, shaking moment. Shade watched from the floor, empty, shattered. Rain softened against the roof. The house smelled of cold fear and broken memories. And Tunde knew. This was only the beginning. Because Shade had said something earlier. You left us. Us. Not me. Us. Meaning someone else might exist. Another life. Another story. Another secret. And the real shock was yet to come. Tunde's phone buzzed again. Unknown number. You took her. Then I'm coming for the girl. His blood froze. Ada's eyes widened. Shade smiled through tears, slowly, hauntingly. You thought I came alone? Tunde stared at the message like it was a bullet lodged in his chest. A cold chill ran down his spine, deeper than fear. Ada read it over his shoulder. Her voice trembled. Tunde, who is coming for Myra? Myra clung to her mother's waist, crying softly. Shade, handcuffed on the floor, tilted her head and smiled a slow, unsettling smile. Tunde kneeled down to her. Who sent this message? Shade, who else is involved? Shade looked straight into his eyes. Not angry. Not afraid. Just, hollow. You think I came here to do this alone? No, Tunde. Her voice was soft, almost tender. You broke more than one heart. What do you mean? He demanded. Shade closed her eyes, as if the memories exhausted her. When you left me, I wasn't alone. I was pregnant. Again. Ada gasped, covering her mouth. Tunde felt the floor tilt beneath him. No, he whispered. Yes, Shade said. But the child didn't survive long. I couldn't take care of myself. I was alone, abandoned. And someone else found me. Who? Tunde pressed. Shade's eyes darkened. My sister. Ada frowned. You never told us you had a sister. Shade laughed bitterly. Would you? After your family threw you out for mental instability, after your man left you to bleed alone in a clinic? The only one who stayed was my sister, Kimi. Kimi? A name. A new threat. A new piece of the puzzle. Shade continued. She saved me, fed me, gave me a place to sleep. But she never forgave you for what happened to me. She believed you deserved pain. Same pain I felt. Her voice dropped like a stone. So she planned this with me. Tunde felt his pulse hammering. Where is she now? Shade smiled wider. Closer than you think. Just then. Bang. The front door slammed open downstairs. Myra screamed. Ada pulled her closer. Tunde grabbed his gun. Heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway. Slow. Confident. No rush, like someone who already believed they had one. A voice filled the house. Tunde Lawson. Bring out the girl. A woman's voice. Cold. Sharp. Unafraid. Shade whispered with a trembling smile. Kimi is here. Tunde pushed Ada and Myra toward the bedroom corner. Hide. Don't make a sound. Ada grabbed Myra, pulling her into the closet, closing it gently. Their breathing was faint behind the wooden door. Tunde moved toward the living room like a trained officer, gun steady, steps quiet. Shade remained on the floor, handcuffed, back against the cabinet. Her eyes glittered with anticipation. Tunde, she whispered, she didn't come to talk. She came to take Myra. Tunde glared at her. I won't let anyone touch my daughter. Shade whispered calmly. You don't know my sister. Tunde reached the living room entrance. Standing at the doorway was a tall woman dressed in black raincoat, water dripping from her sleeves. Her eyes were sharp, intense, like she had rehearsed violence her whole life. In her right hand, a pistol. In her left, a small black bag. He didn't know what was inside, but his instincts screamed danger. She smirked when she saw him. Hello, Officer Lawson. Tunde kept his gun raised. You must be Kimi. Oh good, she chuckled. Shade talked about me. He took a small step forward. Kimi raised her gun instantly. Move again and I'll put a hole in your leg. Tunde froze. She paced casually toward the dining area where Shade still sat bound. Her eyes scanned the mess, the knife on the floor, the broken glass. So this is how far you got, sister, she said in disappointment. Shade looked away. Kimi crouched down beside her. You were supposed to finish it. You were supposed to make him feel what you felt. But you hesitated. Shade's lips trembled. I saw his daughter. She looks innocent. I couldn't. Slap. Kimi struck her across the face brutally. You're weak. That's why your life fell apart. Shade cried silently, not resisting, not anymore. Tunde tightened his grip on his gun. That's enough. Kimi looked at him and smiled coldly. You ruined her life. You owe a debt. I came to collect. Tunde's voice was sharp. I never wanted to hurt Shade. We were young, broken, confused. She needed help I couldn't give. I'm sorry things happened the way they did. Kimi leaned back lazily. Oh, the famous sorry. She spat on the floor. Men like you say sorry when you destroy lives. You moved on, got a family, a house, a child, peace, while my sister was eating from dustbins. Shade began crying harder. Kimi ignored her. So here's the plan, Kimi said. You will pay. And payment is simple. She raised a finger. Bring Myra to me. Tunde shook his head firmly. No. Kimi smirked. I expected that answer. She unzipped the black bag slowly, revealing a bottle of gasoline and a lighter. Ada, watching from the closet crack upstairs, covered Myra's mouth so she wouldn't cry out. Kimi placed the items on the table like trophies. You won't hand over your daughter, she said. Fine. Then I will burn this house down with everyone inside except Myra. I'll take her with me and raise her as Shade's daughter. Tunde felt his stomach twist painfully. You won't touch her. Kimi pointed the gun at his chest. Drop your weapon. Tunde didn't move. Kimi sighed. Last chance. She flicked the lighter on, flame rising. In that moment, Tunde made his choice. He threw himself sideways behind the counter. Gunshots exploded. Glass shattered over his head. A bullet tore into the wall inches from his face. Kimi fired again. Tunde. Ada's voice cried from upstairs, barely a whisper but full of fear. Kimi heard it. Her eyes flicked upward. She's here, she muttered. She began walking toward the stairs. Shade panicked. No, Kimi. Not Myra. Please. Kimi stopped and turned slowly. You changed, sister. You want mercy? Now. After we planned this for months. Shade sobbed. I wanted Tunde to feel what I felt, but seeing his daughter, she's just a child. Not our enemy. Kimi's face hardened. You disappoint me. She raised her gun to shoot Shade. Tunde sprang up from cover and fired a warning shot. The bullet hit the wall beside Kimi's head. She ducked but didn't fall. She laughed, thrilled. Oh, now we are playing. She fired back. Tunde dodged, sliding behind the sofa. Another bullet grazed his arm. He hissed but held himself steady. He shouted toward the bedroom upstairs. Ada, take Myra and climb through the window. Go. Ada grabbed Myra's hand and ran to the bedroom window. Rain poured outside violently. The drop was high but survivable with the roof extension. Mummy, I'm scared. Myra cried. We have to jump, Ada said. But Daddy. He will come, Ada assured, voice cracking. She pushed Myra out gently. The girl landed on the awning, rolled, then dropped to the soft muddy garden. Ada climbed next. Bang. The bedroom door burst open. Kimi stood there breathless, wild, gun raised. Ada screamed and jumped, barely avoiding the bullet. Kimi leaned out the window, aiming down. Myra cried from below. Run, baby. Run. Ada yelled. Myra ran into the rain. Kimi fired again, missed as Ada shielded Myra with her body. Tunde heard the shot and his heart stopped. Ada. I'm fine, she shouted. Get Shade. She needs help too. Kimi turned back inside, furious. You let her escape, she hissed. Shade spoke softly from downstairs. Kimi, please stop. This isn't you. Kimi screamed. No. You became weak. I'll do this myself. She stormed down the stairs. Tunde crawled behind her silently, holding his bleeding arm. As she passed Shade, Shade moved. Despite being cuffed, she thrust her shoulder into Kimi's legs, tripping her. Kimi fell, gun sliding across the floor. Tunde grabbed it. Kimi reached for the lighter instead. She flicked it. Fire caught the gasoline on the table, flames rose instantly. The whole house lit in orange rage. Kimi screamed and lunged for Shade's throat. Shade fought back, crying, pushing, kicking. Tunde pointed his gun, hand shaking. Kimi, stop. Kimi snarled at him like an animal. Shoot me, coward. Shade choked under her grip. Tunde made his choice. He fired, not at Kimi, at her leg. She collapsed with a scream. Shade gasped for air. Fire spread faster, curtains burning, smoke filling rooms. Tunde rushed to Shade, pulling her up. We have to leave. But Ada and Myra, Shade cried. They're outside. Shade nodded weakly. Tunde dragged her toward the exit. Kimi, clutching her bleeding leg, crawled toward the door. You ruined everything, she sobbed. She was all I had. And you took her too. Shade stopped, looking back, torn. Kimi, she cried, kneeling beside her sister. I'm sorry. Kimi's rage faltered for the first time, real pain showing. You left me alone. Everyone did. Shade held her. Then let me stay with you now. Tunde watched, shocked by the humanity in the moment, even amid chaos. The fire roared behind them. Shade looked up. Tunde, help me carry her. He hesitated. This woman tried to kill his family. But Shade's eyes begged. He nodded. They lifted Kimi together and carried her outside just as the roof cracked behind them, house collapsing in flames. Rain washed over them in the yard. Ada and Myra rushed to him, all crying, shaking, but alive. Tunde held them both, dropping the gun, hugging tightly. Shade sat beside her injured sister, sobbing. Ambulance and police sirens grew louder in the distance. Neighbors gathered, shocked, whispering. Smoke rose into the night like a painful memory fading. Kimi was arrested, but survived. Shade was taken for psychological evaluation and rehabilitation, not prison. Tunde insisted on help instead of punishment. I left her broken, he told Ada. Now I want her to heal. Ada squeezed his hand, understanding, even through fear. Myra asked softly, Daddy, is the bad woman gone? Tunde kissed her forehead. No, baby. She wasn't bad. Just hurt. Pain makes people dangerous when nobody listens. Myra nodded, too young to understand fully, but safe enough to forget slowly. Shade, before entering the ambulance, looked at Tunde one last time. I'm sorry, she whispered. So am I, he replied. And for the first time in many years, Shade smiled with peace, not madness. As the ambulance drove away, Ada leaned on Tunde's shoulder. We almost died tonight. He held her closer. But we didn't. And we won't let darkness win again. Rain kept falling, washing away the ash of what was lost, leaving room for what could begin anew. And Tunde knew this night would haunt him forever. But also teach him something powerful. Unresolved past eventually returns. And love must be guarded, not taken for granted.